Kia ora e te iwi and welcome to UFC on Sky. Ko Ravinda Hunia tōku ingoa. Now, the UFC promotion travels to Paris, France for the very first time this weekend, and featuring as the co-main event is former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker, who will be facing Marvin Vettori. Now, the former champ is joining me now. Kia ora, Robert Whittaker. Look, first of all, Robert, thank you so much for joining us today on UFC on Sky. Look, a favourite for Māori in New Zealand is obviously the carbs, bread, pastries, and I've seen a lot on your social media, you hashtagging croissants and putting up little emojis of bread as well. Tell us about that and how you've been enjoying them so far in Paris.
I definitely blame my Māori roots for the bread love that I have. I just feel like everything in life is better between two pieces of bread. It just lather with butter, and you're in for a good time. It's been hard because walking down like the little streets, every second store is a pastry shop, and there is nothing more alluring than the smell of cooking toast, like toast, just freshly baked toast or freshly baked croissants. It's just, it's a little tough.
That is something we can all relate with you very well with, Robert. But self-control, especially during fight week, how has it been going in Paris so far?
Yeah, everything's been great. It's trippy to come here because there is just so much history that that has been a part of like our TV shows and just growing up and everything like that. And then to come here and to see it all, and it's just mind-boggling. It really is. I didn't think it would affect me as much as it has, and I feel privileged to be here.
Yeah, there's something special about going to a place that's so rich in history. I mean, Paris is obviously a place that you go to with your loved one. Are you able to get your wife over there as well?
Yeah, I was. So I have Sophia and Jace here with me. I've managed to push the kids onto the grandparents for the trip at the moment, but yeah, no, it's great to be able to share these experiences with her as well as get the one-on-one time with my youngest. It just makes it brings home to Paris a little bit.
Yeah, nice one. It'll be a great little family adventure as well after everything is said and done. But let's talk a little bit about that fight. I see something else that you've been referencing on social media, Skinny Rob. So talk to us about your focus this fight prep, gearing up for Marvin Vettori.
The focus is it's quite straightforward. He's a southpaw that likes putting dogged pressure on you. He likes making the fight uncomfortable as he can for you and just push forward. So more or less, it's what I always do, try to get fit, try to make sure that my the tools that I have to stop him from coming in are effective, as well as just really build up that gas tank.
What do you make of him as a fighter? He is, quite tough. You've said in other interviews his head is, one of steel. But where do you feel your advantages lie against a fighter like him?
I think he's very tough. I give him all the respect for that. He's number 2 for a reason, but I'm number 1 for a reason. I think I'm going to be too fast for him. I think I'm going to hit. I think I'm going to punish him too much, just due to my speed and just due to the skill difference. And I should be able to have my way with him.
And how does fighting a 3-rounder compare, the last few years you've been quite accustomed to 5-round fights. So does the game plan change at all when it comes down to 3?
The game plan, it's got to be faster. There is a different game plan because it's got to be faster. You don't have the time. The pacing isn't for a 5-round fight, and it's very different. It's good and bad because it's good because it's a sprint. You can't lose rounds. You can't give them up. You can't lose one thinking, oh, you'll make it back in 4-5. You gotta take off fast. But it's also good in a way because 15 minutes and I'm eating croissants in the back room.
We're going to just keep wrapping this around to the croissants. Look,
it always is.
At the end of the day, you are number 1, Vettori is number 2, like you mentioned. And usually when fighters at the top end of the spectrum are fighting, there's a title fight waiting for the winner. Israel Adesanya is obviously wrapped up with Alex Pereira in November. So where does this leave your course for the future?
I'm not really worrying about it. I know I'm voicing for that 3rd fight, and I want it one day, but it's something that I can't it's just going to happen in due time. I just got to beat the people in front of me, and I've never really gotten involved in like the division politics or anything like that. I've always just focused on beating up the person directly in front of me and letting the rest take care of itself after that. So, I've been pretty successful with that mentality so far. So I'm gonna stick with that.
You have been, and again, you're number one contender in the middleweight division. You've been at the top echelon. I mean, this year is 10 years for you in the UFC. That's a long time, and you've been at the top of this division for, the majority of it. Do you take stock every now and then and think, man, over the 10 years in the UFC, I've been able to achieve this stuff?
Sometimes, but not really. I haven't really. I've reached the highest point in this sport. I've done a lot of good things, made a lot of history, but I guess I haven't really sat back and reflected on it all. Maybe one day, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Oceania, the trilogy could or may happen in the future, but a fight against Alex Pereira, if he was to get the better of Izzy, is that something that excites you?
Every fight excites me. That's how I earn my bread. It's I just like progression. So I'm just going to focus on beating Marvin, and then after Marvin, whoever's next, whoever's ahead of me, whoever's in front of me, whoever can push me forward.
Another thing that you brought up in another interview was a possible move to light heavyweight, something that attracted you as well. Options, as we've mentioned, a decade in the UFC, so you're able to, explore a little bit more and see what those options are. Is that something that you're, considering seriously, perhaps for 2023?
It's hard to say. It's hard. Maybe not 2023. Maybe 2024. It's because it's one of those moves that once it happens, I'm there. I'm there until I finish, because I wouldn't. I also need the time to adjust to the division, and it's very hard to say, especially because I do pretty well at middleweight. You haven't done too shabby
at all, Rob. But look, with this fight against Marvin Vettori, the fight at hand, what are you wanting to show your fans, to bring to the stage? Because, we have seen you fight so many times, obviously not against Vettori before. So what are you wanting to display?
I would like to highlight why I'm the most dangerous man in the division. That's it. That's what I want to do. I want to highlight why I'm one of the most dangerous people in the world.
And how do you plan to do that?
Hit him with the left, hit him with the right.
Keep working that jab you're known for.
Yeah, well, that's it. Just try to scruff him up a little bit.
How much of it is, you enjoying the sport? Because when you think about a decade, that's such a long time of being involved in a sport like MMA, and it takes its toll on some people. So how much of it is you just getting in there and really enjoying the moment?
Yeah, a lot of it is enjoying the moment. I enjoy the fight, like I really do. I feel alive after fights. When I leave the octagon, I feel alive. It's hard to explain to everybody that how I feel post fight. But throughout my journey and my career, I've had a lot of moments I've had to self-reflect and adjust things and change things, because 10 years, long time. I've changed as a person from when I started to who I am today, and you have to change with it. You have to change with it. You have to change your goals and ambitions and everything. They change on the go, and it's very important to change with it. Otherwise you kind of end up having a bit of a breakdown.
No, you don't want to have a breakdown, especially in a sport like MMA. Look, before I let you go, Rob, you're on this card, obviously, fighting out of Australia. Tai Tuivasa, he's also on this card as the main event. 2 Australians in Paris. When do we get this card back down to this side of the planet?
Hopefully beginning of next year.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard in the rumour mill, so wait and see.
Well, hopefully we will see you front row centre when that happens as well, Rob. Look, thank you so much for your time. All the very best for UFC in Paris, and hope that you and your whānau have a great time as well.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always good.
Featuring as the main event at UFC Fight Night in Paris is Australian heavyweight Tai Tuivasa, who will be up against Cyril Gane. And Tai joins us now from Fight Week in Paris. Kia ora, Tai, and welcome to the show.
Kia ora. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Look, it's great to finally have you on UFC on Sky. For our viewers here in New Zealand, you do have quite the fan base here in Aotearoa, so it's great to have you on.
Thanks for having me. Shout out to New Zealand.
Awesome. Look, first I wanted to start with asking you, you're over there in Paris, the first time that the promotion has ever been in Paris. How does it feel to be headlining, you know, a little piece of history for the UFC?
It's a great feeling. It's great for my resume, and it's good to be in France. You know, a lot of my family and friends are coming over, and it's really proud moment. You know, they wouldn't really travel to places like this, so it's good that everyone's coming along.
Yeah, it's a cool little experience, isn't it? And then even more special when you get to share that with your loved ones.
Definitely.
Look, I saw that you came face to face with Cyril Gane, Shuey's in tow, of course. What was that like when you get to do promotional stuff, but you know that, you know, in a couple of days' time, you're going to be meeting him in the octagon?
It's all good to me. You know what I mean? I don't really. This is a job for me, so I don't really look at it in any other way. You know, I don't really hate the other person or anything like that. But he seems like a good guy, and regardless, you know, I think we're going to get in there and try and take each other's head off. So we both know that.
Name of the game, obviously. Look, what do you make of Cyril Gane as a fighter?
Great athlete, great fighter. You know, very fast and very skilled. But I've got a nitty-gritty style, and I'm going to make it dirty, and that's the plan.
You do have a nitty-gritty style, and in your last 5 fights, of course, you've had 5 knockouts, for goodness sake. Look, what do you credit that success to? Because there was a little bit of a lull there, but you've been on the spree for a little while now.
Just a lot of personal change, you know. I had to obviously, when I went on a bit of a bad trot, you know, I was in a bad place outside of the cage mentally, and I just had to take a look at myself and what I wanted to do with my career, and I feel like I'm back in touch with myself, and I feel like I'm on the right path, and I've got myself surrounded with good people. So yeah, I'm just enjoying myself and having fun.
That's what I wanted to say. It does look like you're having so much fun. From the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out, it looks like you're just really enjoying your time in the octagon now.
Yeah, definitely. I get to travel the world. I get to wake up and do what I love. You know what I mean? I'm from a place where sometimes that's not always the options, and I just really feel blessed. I get to do what I love in front of the world, and I get to show my son a great life.
Talking about your son, he's going to be over there with you. I'm pretty sure maybe he's already over there now. Yet young little man gets to see his dad go to work this weekend. You know, what does it mean for you to have him there with you?
He's old enough. He understands what we do now. You know what I mean? He's obviously watched it for a long time. His uncle's in the UFC as well. So for me, it's just like I want to show him what Dad does for him, and let him understand that maybe he don't have to get punched in the head to make some money one day. You know what I mean? But it's good for me. He loves traveling. He's got the travel bug already. He's been around to a lot of places, so he's a fanatic YouTuber. So he wants to see all the things in Paris, and like I said, this is why I do this. You know, it's to give him them opportunities. So really good for me.
How much was that when you were talking about having that shift mentally? How much motivation was he, you know, to get to this place where you are now?
He's a lot of my motivation in life. You know what I mean? I think if it wasn't for him, I could fall off real easy. But he kind of keeps me grounded and keeps me in line. So thank you, son.
Nice one. Look, you mentioned Uncle. I'm presuming you mean Tyson Pedro, who's set up camp here in New Zealand now at City Kickboxing, which has been, you know, a real good treat to be able to, you know, talk to him in person and things like that. But he's obviously over there, well, on his way over to you to help you with preparations and be there for you for this big headlining moment. So what value does he add for you when you're preparing for a fight?
Oh, we just brothers, you know what I mean? Like it's not, he does his thing, I do my thing. It's really good to see him back in his element, you know what I mean? And back where he belongs, and that's in the cage. He went through some hard times, you know what I mean? And I've been there as well, so to come out on the other side is you know, is credit to him. But yeah, you know how it is. It's always good to have people you love and people that care about you around, and that's kind of the main thing, you know. He'll be there, and go, us, do your thing, and sweet. I'll see you on the other side, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, it's cool. It's awesome, all right? Really helps with, again, that motivation again. Look, in your last 5 wins, the fights haven't gone past the second round, which has been pretty impressive, but it does feel like people still doubt you and your ability to take out these fights. You know, is that something that you feel?
I really don't give a shit. I knock people out. You can't really say anything at the end of the day after that, you know what I mean? I think people still ask me, do I even train? So I just that's their thing, yeah. I'm doing my thing. I'm happy. I'm making my money. I'm happy. I'm doing my thing. So I don't really care about the other noise, you know.
Yeah. No, good on you. And you've got the results to back you up and support that decision all the way anyway. Look, thinking of that, the fight's not going beyond 2 rounds. Do you think that Cyril Gane will be looking to perhaps take this fight deeper into the rounds, it being a 5-round fight?
Oh, definitely. That's his whole kind of game plan, or should I say. But I think since I had my first fight, that's been everyone's game plan. Drag me into the later rounds and then drown me, but they drown before they get there. So I think that's the great thing about fighting, you know. Everyone can have a game plan, everyone can on paper you can say this and that, but when you get locked in the cage, you know, it's only me and you, so that's the fun part.
Yeah, he can try.
Yeah.
Look, I know, that the fight is on the weekend, but obviously, what does a win mean for you after today? Or are you not quite thinking that far ahead, or you are thinking about the future plan?
A win on Saturday for me gets me back to the negotiation table on a bigger contract. That's all I care about, you know. I'm a prize fighter. I do this to feed my family, and a really good win on the weekend will put me in a really good position to solidify my spot in this company.
Most
definitely. And then whatever else after that, we can we can sort out after that. Just show me the money first.
Yep, sign the dotted line and then I'll do whatever you want. Look, the heavyweight division is kind of in a funny pickle at the moment too, right? With Ngannou not being, active and surgery and things like that. So, being in the top 5, do you feel you kind of have a bit more say and a bit more, authority to say, hey, I want this guy, at this point of my career and because I'm this position?
Definitely I should have some sort of say, but that's kind of not me as a fighter. I don't really get too much into the politics type of stuff. All I know and all I'm focused on is a good win on the weekend gets me a bigger contract, and that's my main focus. And whatever's happening, you show me the money, I'll rock up and I fight. That's my job.
Wherever.
Or the rest of it, yeah. That's not my business. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Well, there was something that Robert Whittaker actually said to me in an earlier interview. He said that he hears rumours that the UFC promotion is heading back down. Not sure if Australia or New Zealand early next year. Is that something that you'd want to be a part of?
Definitely. I always love, I love performing at home. I've never got a chance to fight in New Zealand yet. I would love to fight New Zealand, obviously. But we've been hit hard by all this COVID things, and we definitely deserve a show in the coming future. And even if I'm not fighting, I will definitely be there in the crowd getting drunk. So either New Zealand or Australia, I'll be there.
Nice one. Look, before I let you go, What are you wanting to put on display this weekend? You've had 5 fights, you've had 5 KOs, you know, you'd think that it really can't get any better than that. But headlining, you know, a card like this, Cyril Gane's, you know, home crowd, home arena, what are you wanting to put on display for fans?
I'm coming to upset everyone again and prove everyone wrong. And just prove to myself that I am good at this, and I deserve to be here. And other than that, my family's here. My brothers are here, my son's here, the people I love are here, and I'm sweet. That's all I need.
Nice one, bro. Look, Tai, thank you so much for your time and all the very best at UFC Fight Night in Paris this weekend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.